Brought to you by ExpressCare Health and Skin Center. Get in, get out, get better.
All right, everybody, my good friend Dr. Jitka Lom, the principal physician at ExpressCare, is here, and we are talking about dialysis. So many Guamanians have been involved in this process, either as patients or as an extended family members providing extended care. So we continue our discussion right now, and our first question is, going off the last topic before we went to commercial break, are there diet and drink restrictions involved with dialysis once you start?
There are, and they're super important to making you do better in your dialysis and feel better overall. So fluid restriction, dialysis patients are given instructions, and it's really important for the family members to be supportive of that and not tempt your family member with food or drinks that they shouldn't be having. So yeah, they have fluid restrictions, and they also have food restrictions, limited protein, because protein is, again, a load for your kidneys to filter, and so you have to limit the amount of protein, you have to limit the amount of phosphorus you eat, calcium, potassium especially, so foods that contain potassium such as bananas, oranges, of course any supplement, they really have to be very careful on their diet. So usually when people begin dialysis, they get education about what foods they should eat, and then they really need to stick to that. Already they're on dietary supplement or dietary restriction because of diabetes or high blood pressure. Now it's even more strict on dialysis.
Yeah, it's being very, very diligent to that schedule is part of the key part of treatment. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Question number 2, Dr. Lom, what activities can I do, this person writes, while undergoing dialysis? Probably undergoing and then shortly thereafter, I would assume.
While undergoing, people read or they listen to music. I think a great thing to do is meditation. Thinking positive thoughts is critically important whenever you have any chronic illness, thinking about how nice it is that this machine has been invented to help you live. And people can be on it for years, 10, 12, 15 years they can be on dialysis. Finding something productive to do, but at the same time, not expecting too much of yourself, because it is very tiring, especially afterwards. People do need to rest. There have been huge fluid shifts in the body, and it needs time to rebalance, and so not expecting too much is a good idea.
Well, one thing anecdotally that I actually told my own dad when he started dialysis, and I would sit there as he went through the hemodialysis, the one we do ourselves, is I was like, he's a technical guy, and that's where I get it from. I was like, observe the equipment and have an appreciation for exactly what it's doing and have an understanding, because again, it's a fascinating system.
It's amazing.
Considering there's no power being used, there's no batteries, all it is pressure and gravity.
Yep.
It's pretty remarkable.
It
is. Question number 3, doctor, if you please. If I am a dialysis patient, can I drive myself to my appointment?
Probably a bad idea, because
that's a tough call.
You're not going to be able to drive home. You shouldn't really drive home after dialysis.
Now why is that?
You'll be very tired. I mean, there are people, and I don't think you can really be, your coordination may be off, your balance may be off. Just have somebody drive you. Most people have somebody drive them back and forth.
Now explain, if you can, exactly what makes a dialysis patient, and this is specifically for hemodialysis patients where they've got to get it done in a renal center. What about the replenishing of the blood supply makes somebody so tired?
Oh, well, first of all, they had a lot of waste products build up in their body, and then there's a sudden shift to where the waste products are gone, so it's like shifting gears for your metabolism. On top of that, all your fluid has gone through a machine, and so there was as a removing fluids are shifting within your own body, so the fluid shift affects you. Electrolyte imbalances have occurred while you were under dialysis. They're just huge shifts that occur pretty quickly, even though it's a 3 to 5 hour process. That's kind of quick for the body to go from high to low. And sometimes sometimes also dialysis, they'll kind of overshoot on purpose sometimes, but they'll overshoot to take a little extra fluid off. If they know that you're a fluid retainer, they'll take a little extra off. So you may end up a little dry. There are all kinds, it's a fine art of dialysis, and it really is patient specific. Not every patient will have the same response. So I think as you go through dialysis, there will be an adjustment. You adjust to how your body is with it. Your body will adapt to it, but you shouldn't really drive afterwards.
And long story short, I guess, the non-technical answer is it's a very taxing process on the body. And I mean, like it literally and figuratively takes a lot out of you.
It does.
Okay, well, our last question is home dialysis safe? And we go back to hemodialysis, or I'm sorry, peritoneal dialysis. And is doing this in the home Is it safe, and what are some of the conditions that you have to prepare the home for?
It's very safe if the home is clean, if the patient is clean and they're taking good care of the site where the needle goes in for the peritoneal dialysate. And it requires, it's done several times a day, so you can't just sort of forget or be busy or something like that. So for a person who's very diligent and clean, and the family is able to help them with the cleanliness of it, it's a great idea.